When it did get very close, so it came around Mount Wilson as expected. Fires at Mount Wilson end up at Berambing or Mount Tomah, and they're usually the biggest fires that we ever see because these are the biggest mountains close to Sydney. The RFS did come in to help us at the start of the fire, but then we didn't really need them, and they were called away to Berambing Crescent, which really did need them, so they went there. So when the first fire came, it was probably about 3-4 kilometres away on the third ridge from us. We see the fire crowning over the top of that ridge, and it was about 3:30, and fire's calm at night. At that point of the day, I was thinking, well, we've got another hour to go and we might be safe until nightfall. But nah, straight away it was spotting in front of itself on that ridge it was coming over. It was spotting on the next ridge, it was spotting on the next ridge, and then it was spotting on us. Once it hit the asset protection area, the steam went out of it, and I actually thought for a minute our fire trails were going to hold it. But then the ember attacks came down and we put those out, but there were too many ember attacks, and then your ground ends up on fire. Once we had the fire coming, and then it's a matter of making sure that everybody that's with you is safe, because people reasonably get frightened. A lot of RFS people were frightened, and I tell you what, when you see fire like that coming, you get frightened. But if you have a plan and you know what you're going to do, then your fear goes because you're in action. I am so lucky that I had the Carey family, my neighbours, come over. One of them's my apprentice, one of them does work for me, and they were cool, calm and collected. What happened from my mind is like really important for fire behaviour and building protection. So we managed this place without any assistance from the RFS. When they came in afterwards to see how we'd gone, they told us we should hold our heads up high because they were amazed. A really important thing is community, to have a community that works together, that you have your eye out for. Once we dealt with our fire, then we were aiding the RFS by filling up trucks out of one of our reservoirs and going up to the neighbours and helping the neighbours. Some of our neighbours were having heart attacks, other neighbours went into catatonic situations. I'd like to thank the local fire brigades above all else for their incredible skill, and our main captains, Sean Lonergan, Bilpin, who's like the champion of champions, Tim Burke at Mount Lagoon, and the Mount Tomah Brigade. They go out day after day. They're ceaseless, they've been doing it for weeks. They're highly skilled. You see them coming, you know you'll probably be all right. Yeah, it makes you emotional because the effort that they and their crews put in, the RFS, as good as it is, as amazing as it is, can't be everywhere at once. So you do have to take control and do your best for yourself and your community, and that's what happened in Bilpin. People came out with cubes on the backs of utes and protected neighbours' properties.